Hi, I'm Madeline James, and I thought I'd do a bit of a November recap and go over my goals for December. It is already December 5th by the time I'm filming this, and I did have this mostly prepped to film it at the very end of the month, so that should give you a hint of how December is going already, but let's start with the recap. So for a lot of people, November is National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo, and I did not attempt the traditional NaNoWriMo challenge of writing 50,000 words of a novel by the end of the month, but I was sort of trying to ride the hype train to get half of my goal done for finishing the first developmental pass of revisions on my novel by the end of the year, and I think that definitely helped. I did not get quite as far as I wanted to. I think I wanted to get like somewhere in the low 20s done chapter wise, and I did not manage that. I got about 3 weeks of chapters done in 4 weeks, which I could still get done by the end of the year. I'm still mostly on track, and I do think it helped. But I'll talk about what my plan is moving forward when we get to that part. So my status at the end of the month was revised 18 out of 46 chapters, which is good. And the thing that I did not really account for enough was that those chapters are kind of the hardest. I knew there was a few chapters at the very beginning that were going to be basically rewrites, changing the entire intro scenes just to set up character arcs better, and those took a lot of time. I think it would have been more realistic to kind of do 1 day per chapter for just general developmental updates, fixing inconsistencies of arcs and characters and that sort of thing, and just kind of tightening up my word usage. Not to do a line edit, but just to make it consistent. So I sort of changed the time period that my world was inspired by a little bit. Between the beginning and the end, so I kind of needed to update that at the beginning to make it make sense. I removed one of the arcs, that sort of stuff that's just, you kind of have to read every line and be like, oh, whoops, I mentioned this thing's here, need to change it, that sort of stuff. And then an extra day per, new scene. That would have been probably a better estimate, but it's fine. But the big problem, I finished my first draft, I think it was somewhere between 130 and 135,000 words, which I was like, that's pretty good. I can probably get it down under 120, which was my goal before querying, but, I'm not going to worry about this on this developmental pass. I'll kind of tighten it up later. I was not really expecting to be increasing the word count that much in this pass. Yeah, that was a mistake. I checked my word count the other night, right after finishing the 18th chapter, and my novel had gone from just over 130,000 words to over 150,000 words. I think it was at 153,000, and I'm not even halfway through my revisions. So by the end of this, I'm probably going to have 170, 180,000 words, which hurts. So, yeah, I'm coming up with a lot of thoughts and plans for how I'm going to plan and determine what I want to cut, what I want to tighten up, how much I can tighten up with still having the story I want to tell. But that's going to kind of come later. I think I'm going to do a multi-part video series going through okay, I'm, charting out all of my plot lines, all of the character arcs, all of this, that, whatever, looking at it visually to see, okay, where am I having the same, emotional beat or story progression beat multiple times when I could condense that? Or where am I having scenes that only serves no purpose or only serves one purpose, and I combine it with another one to kind of, have a little bit of a tighter storyline. So look for that probably at the beginning of the year. I'll start that because I still want to finish this revision pass before I get there. But yes, I'm trying not to worry about that too much now, but it's kind of hard when you're that far ahead, but what can you do? So in November, I did also go out of town for Thanksgiving, so that was 2 full travel days, and then just being in a different place for Thanksgiving. I didn't have a lot of time to spend with family, so I had expected to get more writing done than I did, but instead of getting 5 chapters done that week, I think I only got 3 done, which I was still very impressed with. So that wasn't a complete loss, but, you know, it's just hard to kind of stay on top of goals when you're doing that, and I should have given myself a little bit more wiggle room there, and then, you know, all the time spent packing and unpacking, and it's a lot. Oh, we have 2 little kiddos if you're new here, and yeah. It's kind of an event to go anywhere. So I had that, and then I did also start with a fitness and wellness coach this month, which has been really fun. So I have like goals to kind of try and get back into shape better. I've had a few issues through my pregnancy, so like I had hernias, and I had to have hernia repairs, so my abdomen is kind of weird from that I still need to kind of work on like tightening it up to kind of not put as much pressure on the sutures. It's been long enough that the pain should really be gone, but I think my body just doesn't like it, so I have a lot of inflammation from that, so having like some tighter core muscles would kind of just relieve the stress on what little bits of the sutures are still in there, and alleviate a lot of that pain for me. Like I can't wear pants right now because the pressure on my waistline hurts too much. So, you know, that, and then I just generally have a lot of body issues. I have like hypermobility in my joints a little bit. I have back problems, a little bit of scoliosis. So I have the body of an 80-year-old woman, and it helps to be in better shape to just not be in as much pain all the time. So I'm really excited for that. I don't know, I'm only a few weeks in, and it's been rough because I did also injure myself during that drive to Thanksgiving and back, so I had to take almost a week off just recovering and trying to get to the point where like I could walk at the end of the day and I wasn't like in pain. So I'm really excited, and I'll probably give some more updates on that going forward just here or there in these monthly recap videos, but it's definitely not going to be something I talk about too much because I'm not really qualified, but I have a qualified person helping me, so that's great. But goals for December, and I'm hoping now at the end of December I can kind of do the same thing. I'll probably actually have a 2021 recap video and then a separate like December, January goals video, because I have a lot to talk about for what's happened this year, but okay, focus. We're focusing. So, I still want to finish my revisions this month, but I'm at the point where I don't think that's going to happen. I've done 19 chapters at this point, maybe 20. I think I did 20. So I have 26 left to go, which I could do if I mean, it's the 5th. So I'd basically have to do a chapter every day, which I don't think that's going to happen. Every time I get to a shorter chapter and I'm like, oh, this is going to be so easy, it ends up taking me 2 hours. So I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do a chapter every day. Like, I'm not doing it on Christmas. I'm going to a wedding, so I'm going to be out of town for 4 days. We're having people staying with us. I have a lot of stuff to get ready for Christmas. It's just not going to happen, but I'm still going to try and get as much done as I can, but it's probably going to be mid-January before I finish my revision pass, which is okay. That's okay. Family is number one. So I'd rather, you know, be able to get that kind of stuff done and be a little bit more relaxed when I don't hit my revisions by the end of the year. It'll be fine. Second one is with my fitness and wellness coaching. I want to get a bit more consistent with that and basically stop injuring myself. So I just need to be more conscious about stretching more. If I'm going to be doing something that I know is going to hurt, I need to take ibuprofen beforehand so that I don't get as inflamed and then injure myself. And so I just need to be really conscious with my physical well-being and health so that I can stay on top of my goals and actually start making progress. Fingers crossed. December's not the greatest month to be really pushing on that, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then enjoy the holidays, prep for family to stay with us. All of that stuff is kind of, it's a goal. I'm writing it as a goal because I want to think of it as like accomplishing something. Like, I've enjoyed the holidays. I've had this time with family to rest and relax, and that's important for the year. So I want to think of it as a goal, even though it's not going to be hard to do. I want to make 2 blog posts. I already have most of them done. I just need to kind of make them nicer and add in pictures and stuff. I want to try to be more consistent about posting on Instagram because I tend to just forget, and then it'll be like 4 days and I'm like, oh shoot, I should probably post something. Like I think November I had like a week where I posted every single day. And then it would be like a week. And I'd be like, oh yeah. And then I'd post something. And yeah. Anyway. And then I also want to finish reading another Wheel of Time book. Okay. You may have noticed this glorious thing on my shelf, which is all of the Wheel of Time books and the fancy covers. My husband and I decided to exchange Christmas presents a little bit early this year. Not all of them, just kind of our main presents for each other. Like, I'm still giving him socks on Christmas Day. But we thought this would be nice, especially because we're having a lot of family staying with us. And, you know, there's something a little different about just sitting the two of us exchanging, you know, our personal gifts versus doing it in front of family. So we did our big gifts. And this is what he got me. Like, what? It was so exciting. I was not expecting it at all. He's been bragging since, like, October or something, being like, oh, you know, I've already figured out what I'm going to get you for Christmas, because he always has a rough time with it, and talking about how, like, he was going to win Christmas and everything, and he totally did. I'm very excited about them. I keep joking that I'm going to turn my desk around so that I can just stare at the Wheel of Time books, but there really isn't room to do that. I don't know. I've also joked that I'm going to take the mirror down over there and just put a shelf to just put those books over there, or maybe get a giant mirror lower down so that I can see a reflection of the shelves and look at all my pretty shelves. And yeah, I'm very obsessed with them and incredibly grateful. And he spent so much time because those covers fit very specific editions, basically the original editions of all the books. So he had to go through and search by those ISBNs to find the very specific book for each of them. And I think you can buy it as a set, but it's way more expensive. So he just got all the covers and then hunted down every single one of the ISBNs for every single book to get the right ones that fit. And he's awesome. I am so lucky. My husband is amazing. And he knows me so well. I haven't even finished reading them, but he was like, if you're going to get the fancy books, you should do it when you're still reading them so you can read the fancy books and not just have editions that you've never, you know, touched unless you're like referencing things or something. I don't know, but I'm very excited and I thought I'd share. And so that is basically my recap for November and my goals for December. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear, you know, what you kind of accomplished in November, and if you have any goals moving into December, or, you know, it's probably gonna be like December, like, 7th or something before this video comes out, so how are your goals for December doing? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!